recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivial Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivial Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Chris.
Yo, we going down to Sesame Street.
That's your impression of hardcore rap?
Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my God.
You were like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan, and this is episode number 304. I am joined today by Carmela Smith. Hello, Carmela.
Hello, everyone.
I am here today with Mr. Ben Young. Hello, Ben.
Merry New Year.
Merry New Year.
Well, it's not a new year yet for us, but it will be when other people hear this. So Merry New Year.
That's true.
It's going to be like middle of January-ish, I think.
Merry belated New Year.
It's still the new year.
So we have some awesome guests with us today, folks. First up, Jody Steele is here today. Hello, Jody.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I am been looking forward to this for a long time and super excited.
Absolutely. We're also joined by Andrew Mlynar. Hello, Andrew.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. Well, I want to get to know you two a little bit better. So we're going to start with Jody. Jody, can you tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself?
So I live in Rhode Island, although I just moved here from Massachusetts a couple years ago. Lifelong New England resident. Have my Dunkins ready to go.
We have already hashed it out, folks. She's okay. I've given her approval. She's fine.
Yeah, I got the Jonathan stamp despite being a Massachusetts resident. I work for a big cable internet phone company. I won't say which one, but one of the big ones. I just do back end, like quality control and ticket support. So it's great. I get to be alone all day and just do my own thing. Something fun about myself. I am a pretty boring person. I don't really do too much, especially now, but I have a pet hedgehog. Her name is Peach. If you've ever seen cute hedgehogs on Instagram, that's what she is. She's an African pygmy hedgehog. We've had her for a couple years now. We also have 3 dogs, Yoshi, Zelda, and Bowser.
Wow.
Yeah. Zelda is the biggest. Bowser is a tiny little Chihuahua Jack Russell mix, and he is absolutely the big in attitude dog. So that's pretty much it. We just have dogs and hang out at home and listen to a lot of trivia and watch a lot of streaming stuff lately.
I was gonna ask how you didn't call the hedgehog Sonic, but now I understand with the rest of the names. Peach makes more sense.
Yeah, we already had Zelda the dog, and when we got the hedgehog, I wanted to obviously keep it with like a Nintendo name, so we went with Peach, and then it just spiraled. Like then we got the other dog, and we were like, well, we got to keep it going now.
Absolutely.
So then Yoshi and Bowser and. Yeah, sadly, my child is not named after a Nintendo character. I didn't have that insight a decade ago, but I wish I had.
This is my daughter, Samus.
Daisy,
I love how people think there's nothing interesting about them. Oh, I'm a pretty boring person, but I have 4 pets named after Nintendo characters. Like, that's amazing.
I'm with you, Ben.
I'm in the let's name my pet after a video game camp. I approve.
Absolutely. All right. And Andrew, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
I am from Denver, Colorado. I work in mail processing, claims processing for insurance claims, health insurance. And fun about myself, I don't do a lot. I watch a lot of movies. I play video games.
What's your favorite video game?
World of Warcraft. I play way too much World of Warcraft.
Lots of people play.
You either don't play at all or you play way too much. There's no middle ground anymore.
Yeah, there is no in between there.
Do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I used to say it was The Princess Bride, but I think I changed it recently to That Thing You Do.
Oh.
Both solid choices.
That's not bad at all. And you are among friends here. At least 3 of us have experience with health claims processing. So this is a well-represented group in that field.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's time for us to get started, and we're going to get started with Warm It Up, Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
And the part of Chris will be played by Ben.
Woo.
Thank you, everybody. I want to thank Paul Boyer for this Warm It Up Chris question.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
I have a list of names here, and I want you to tell me whether...
Fred. Is that one of the names? No?
Yes, list all the members of the B-52s.
Okay, so I want you to tell me whether the name is a horse that ran in the Kentucky Derby, or is it a strain of marijuana?
All right. I am
Andrew
not adequately prepared for this particular Warm It Up, Chris, but...
Everyone who lives in Colorado smokes.
I haven't smoked marijuana since before it was legal.
He did it before it became cool.
Guys, my Nana is going to listen to this. I'm sorry, Nana.
She probably smokes more than all of us. All right.
Nana, Jody is a lovely person. You should be very proud of her.
That's right. All right, so we're going to start with Jonathan. I'm just going to go clockwise around my Skype here. Jonathan, you get Bubba's gift.
God, good old Bubba. I've never gotten a gift of marijuana from a person named Bubba, so I'm going to say a horse.
Bubba's gift is pot.
Damn it. It's a bad start.
Sounds like you just haven't met any cool people named Bubba.
I know. Where are all of the Bubbas in my life?
Dude, we live in Northeast Florida. You don't know any cool Bubbas?
I don't know any cool Bubbas. I tried to call Sebastian Bubba, but he doesn't like it.
Yeah, he's not a Bubba.
You tried calling him Mookie?
No, I haven't tried Mookie yet.
You should try that.
Solid choice.
Actually, I think after 300, you never want to hear the word Mookie again.
That's you know what? That's a really good point. All of a sudden, I have shame back in my life. Thank you, Carmela.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I keep you in check.
Jody, your name is Dr. Devious.
Oh, my God. That could go either way. I'm going to say a horse.
Dr. Devious is a horse. Good job.
All right.
All right, Carmela, you get Zarb's Magic, Z-A-R-B.
That's a strain.
That is a horse.
Oh, really? Okay.
You didn't know that's from the Kentucky Zarbs. Very popular family up there.
All right, Andrew, you get Crimson Satan.
Crimson Satan. I think that's probably a strain of marijuana.
Crimson Satan is a horse.
Is it a horse?
It is a horse.
I thought it might be a red, like a red horse, you know?
Well, the reason this works is because it could very easily be either one.
Yeah, you're right. Strawberry Roan. It's marijuana.
Yep, there you go. Jonathan, you get Bingo Pajamas.
Oh, man. I wish I had some bingo pajamas. That sounds awesome. I'm going game theory and saying that must be pot because we had 3 in a row that were horses.
Game theory proved you well. It is pot.
Woohoo.
Jody, you get Critical Bilbo.
Oh, my God.
That's such a great name.
Again, Nana, I'm sorry.
She's like, but from my deep and abiding experience with these topics, I'm going to go.
I'm going to say strain.
Critical Bilbo is a strain of marijuana. Good job.
That was a guess. I don't know that. I've never seen that written on a chalkboard anywhere.
She is doubling down on not disappointing her Nana, I tell you. I promise, Nana, I've never smoked before. Carmela, you get King Clover.
Sounds like a heavy metal band from Ireland.
Well, I mean, there's King Crimson, but that's not a metal band. That's a prog band. But horse.
King Clover is a horse. Good job.
Nice.
Andrew, you get Flowers for Algernon.
That's a book.
There's a book, yes.
I don't want those flowers.
That could be either one. I think I'm going to go with horse.
Flowers for Algernon is pot.
Big Daniel Keyes fan for the person who made that one up.
I have to assume that is supposed to be a joke on making you forget.
Must be.
You know, that or it makes your mice smarter.
Ah.
Or makes you smarter and then dumber again.
Yeah, that's also probably true.
Oh, yeah, you can solve the mysteries of the universe for about 4 hours.
Yep.
As we explain the plot to Flowers.
Then after that, you're stuck with Bubba's gift.
Somewhere along the way, you run into a critical Bilbo. Though.
I think.
All right.
That's the best one so far. Critical Bilbo is great.
There's some good ones on here. We'll see. We'll see if we can beat Critical Bilbo. Okay, Jonathan, you get Blissful Wizard.
Man, oh boy, Blissful makes you think like it's low key, happy. Wizard gives you that old, yeah. I mean, I'm going pot. It may be too obvious, but I'm going pot.
Blissful Wizard is pot. Good job.
Good job.
It was a little on the nose.
Yep. Jody, you get Motown Lockdown.
Oh, good God.
That sounds like a party, man. Where y'all going tonight? I'm going to the Motown Lockdown.
I'm going to say horse.
Motown Lockdown is pot.
Oh, of course it is.
Carmela, you get Jambalaya Jazz.
Oh, but I love both jambalaya and jazz.
Mm-hmm.
I just want jambalaya. I was thinking, like, you know who'd be great at this because they work in horse racing is Nicole Newlist.
Yeah.
I was thinking exactly the same thing.
And you know who would be great at this because they're a big pothead? I'm not going to say.
Just put him on blast.
I'm about to tell you this, though. About maybe 5 to 10 people just got really nervous.
Give me the name one more time, please, Ben.
Jambalaya Jazz.
Jambalaya Jazz. That's right. I said I wanted jambalaya. Do we go the jazz angle? And because a lot of old jazz players used to smoke a lot, I want it so badly to be a strain of pot. So that's what I'm going to say.
Jambalaya Jazz is a horse.
Ah,
there it is.
Lame.
All right. Andrew, you get Legend of Nigeria.
I would say, I think that's a strain of marijuana.
Legend of Nigeria is a strain of marijuana. Good job.
Hey, I got one.
I was going to say horse on that one. And as a horse, it could be like, this is the horse that can deliver the inheritance that the Nigerian prince is promising you all along.
All right, Jonathan, you get Tabasco Cat.
Man, Tabasco Cat. Spicy. I'm going to say horse.
Tabasco Cat is a horse. Good job.
Man, I'm killing it. I don't know why.
It's been a lot of years for you.
It has been a lot of years for me. You're not wrong.
Jody, you get Green Alligator.
That's got to be a strain.
Green Alligator is a horse.
Of course it is. Why not? It's a horse, of course.
It's a horse, of course.
All you're doing is just proving to your Nana that you don't know anything about this topic.
I know. I'm completely clueless.
All right, Carmela, you get Majestic Shore.
These aren't any strains that I've ever heard of. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but we'll try a strain. Why not?
Majestic Shore is a horse.
Oh, be a good name for a strain, though.
Yeah, true. Andrew, you get Government Mule.
Government Mule is a band, so it's probably a strain of marijuana.
Government Mule is pot. Good job.
It's a band made up of former members of Grateful Dead, so I would not be surprised that there's a...
All right, so last round here. Jonathan, you get Grandpa's Breath.
Oh, that's pot, dude.
Grandpa's Breath is pot. Good job.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's clear. There wasn't any doubt about that one.
Right. Jody, you get Happy Jazz Band.
Again with the jazz. The same mind of Carmela, where like jazz is definitely associated with pot. I'm going to say a strain.
Happy Jazz Band is a horse.
Thank God this is warming up.
They like naming those horses after jazz.
Yeah,
They do. They do.
Apparently.
All right, Carmela, you get DJ Andy Williams.
I don't know if you wanted him, but you got him.
An early
Where am I going to sleep
for me? I'm going to say it's a strain.
DJ Andy Williams is pot. Good job. And Andrew, for the final one, trying to pick the best one that's left here. I'm going to go with false teeth.
False teeth?
False teeth.
Horse.
False teeth is pot.
Yes, it's pot.
Dang, now, you got to take your false teeth out to smoke them.
There was a way to kind of get an advantage here. There used to be, and may still be, a restriction on horse names in the Derby. They cannot exceed 15 characters, including spaces.
Oh.
So if you knew that coming into this, you could probably start to narrow things down a little bit better.
Once again, Nicole would have killed this.
Yeah, they would have.
Yep. All right. That was your Warm It Up Chris question of the episode.
All right. This is episode number 304. We are super excited to be back with you. This is on our main feed. If you like this episode and you want more Trivial Warfare, be sure to go to trivialwarfarearmy.com, sign up as a sergeant in the Trivial Warfare Army, and you will get access to well over 200 of our past shows. And you will never miss an episode. We put out episodes every week, and 2 of those are for our patrons only. So be sure you do that. We're going to get started. Today's game is Carmela and Andrew versus Jonathan and Jodie. Ben is hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
Round 1, question 1. Your category is current events. In December 2020, for only the second time since the NFL merger, a regular season NFL game was played on what day of the week? And for 2 bonus points, the only other instance of this was in 2012 to avoid being preempted by whom?
Hell if I know.
Yeah, I do not know.
We're locked in.
Your timing is just about the same as ours.
Where you're like, this is as good as we're going to get, and then lock in.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the answer to the main question is Wednesday. Because there was a game postponed earlier this season back in October, November-ish that was pushed to a Tuesday. And there's been lots of games on Thursdays. Saturdays, Sundays. I think there's been Fridays, Mondays. And so with Tuesday happening earlier this season, I know there was a game that was pushed all the way to Wednesday. It was the Steelers and Ravens, I think. Maybe the football team were involved. I can't remember exactly. But I remember the Steelers or the Ravens had a lot of people on the COVID list. And the other teams that had games like postponed or forced to play with less players were kind of mad at the Ravens for getting to push all the way back to Wednesday. So felt pretty confident about Wednesday. And then, Jody, you kind of came up with our best logic for the bonus. And shout out to the bonus brigade, by the way, for the bonus here.
2012, I said, Jonathan, time has no meaning. So 2012 could have been yesterday or 10 years ago. I was trying to put a time frame on when that was. That was 8 years ago. We were talking about Obama. Could it be an inauguration, State of the Union? And then Obama kind of triggered Osama bin Laden. That's when we, I don't know the polite way to put it, ended that situation. So I remember personally, I told Jonathan I was at a bar and saw it on the TV, but I couldn't really put a time frame on it. But it was definitely Obama in office when that happened. So that was kind of our best bet. It had to be a big event to make it worth, interrupting everything. So that was really the biggest thing I could think of.
So we said Osama bin Laden for the bonus.
So Andrew and I were between Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and it was going to be a coin flip for us, and we ended up going with Tuesday. And for the bonus, the assassination of Osama bin Laden.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we figured it must have been some breaking news that happened on the normal scheduled day of a game that would have overshadowed every other story, and that was the biggest thing that I could think of that was happening about that time.
All right, so In December 2020, the Ravens game got postponed to a Wednesday. And in 2012, that was the Democratic National Convention, and they did not want to be preempted by President Obama's speech at that convention.
That was our earlier choice, and went away from it for something that we were hoping was more impactful.
Yeah. So I think both teams got that right, correct?
Nope, we did not get that right.
Right. Okay. All right.
And we all failed the bonus brigade.
We all failed the bonus. Yes.
It's all right. You'll have another opportunity to redeem them. So.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Your second question is in Ben recites a hit.
All right. Hold on. Let's get loose. Oh.
Yeah, stretch it out, Jonathan. Stretch it out.
Okay. All right.
There we go. Name this 2015 mega hit. And in case Jonathan wants to dispute it, the song did win 3 Grammys.
That's a pretty big hit.
Yeah. All right, here are your lyrics. Did you ever make it out of that town where nothing ever happened? It's no secret that the both of us are running out of time.
Is that it?
That's it.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I gave you a lot of pre-text info, so.
I know. I got excited when you said 2015.
We're locked in.
What was the beginning of the question again?
Name this 2015 mega hit, which won 3 Grammys.
You know, current music's not great for me, Jody. How about you?
Current music is great for me, and I was super excited when he said 2015 and not 1972 or whatever. And now it's driving me nuts because this last line, both of us are running out of time, is triggering, it's tickling something in my brain. And for some reason, I can't get like the melody. And if I can get the melody, I could probably name this in 2 seconds. But that's where I'm at.
2015 could very well be a Taylor Swift kind of thing. Could it be like Blank Space or Bad Blood or Never Getting Back Together or...
I don't think it doesn't seem Taylor Swifty to me. How
about Adele? Could it be Hello?
No, it's definitely not that. I know that song all over.
Okay.
For some reason in my head, it's like almost like a dance poppy kind of like sound. It's that running out of time line that's killing me. Let me roll a Dex for a second.
Yeah, sure. I'll shut up if it helps.
This is going to drive me crazy. Can you read it one more time, Ben? I'm sorry.
Could you put like a beat to it too? Could you like sing it in like with the rhythm, please?
Yeah. Give me the melody while you're at it.
Okay. I'm just going to read the whole question over again. Okay. Name this 2015 mega hit, which won 3 Grammys. Did you ever make it out of that town where nothing ever happened? It's no secret that the both of us are running out of time.
That last line, maybe this will help you, Jonathan. That last line, I think, is something like, we are running out of time. Like, I think it's that kind of beat. It's no secret that the both of us are running out of time. That's it. Are running out of time. What's the next line, though?
Dang, girl, you look fine. That sounds so poppy. And if it's poppy, then it's not going to be something I listen to.
I can literally sing it in melody, and I still can't get the song. And as soon as Ben says the answer, I'm going to get real mad, but I can't.
Can you jump to the chorus?
That's if I could get even just like the next line, I would know it. The first line is pretty long, so I don't know where like that if that's all one line, if it's broken up.
Is it female or male? Do you hear that?
I think it's female. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it.
Could it be Carly Rae Jepsen?
No. The only song of hers I know is Call Me Maybe, which is a travesty. I should get to know her better because I know she's a delight.
She is.
She's adorable. She's also like almost 40. What? I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it.
All right. I mean, so parsing the lyrics, it's no secret that the both of us are running out of time. So it's kind of like a love song kind of thing, and it's about 2 people who might be about to break up.
Could definitely be.
Yeah. It feels like a Taylor Swift kind of thing to me, but I don't listen to that much Taylor Swift, only a couple of songs.
I'm like 99% sure it's not Taylor Swift just because I do have a little bit of the melody and it doesn't line up with her sound, especially this time frame.
Katy Perry?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we got to name the song, Ben?
Yes.
Damn. Yeah.
I'm not going to get it. I don't want to take up too much more time, but I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it.
Okay. We're going to lock in with the answer Dang Girl, You Look Fine.
Okay.
The original number hit from Jonathan.
That's right.
All right. Andrew and Carmela, what you come up with?
We both clicked on it really, really quickly, and we're both pretty sure. And I was second guessing myself because Jody dismissed it right away when Jonathan suggested it. We locked in with Hello by Adele.
It's no secret that the both of us are running out of time. It is Hello from the Other Side by Adele.
I didn't even I've heard that song a million times, and I somehow put that one line of running out of time, which I'm sure is in 50 million other songs, to a completely different song. So I'm sorry, Jonathan. I shouldn't have dismissed that, but I thought I knew that song up, down, and left and right.
I should have. I didn't have enough of it to keep going after it after you said you were sure it wasn't it, so I didn't bother to try and do the song with the lyrics, Yeah.
That hurts. That stings.
All right. Question 3.
Question 3 comes to us from Will Gilbert.
Oh, thanks, you, Will. Will's a good question writer.
Yes, he is. Category is Televisiones.
Ooh. TV.
Bakunin, Jeremy Bentham, Edmund Burke, C.S. Lewis, Hume, Faraday, Rousseau, and John Locke. These are all the names of famous philosophers and the names of characters on what 2000s television show?
Sweet. We're locked in.
Okay.
So, Jody, I thought this was going a different way. He started with Bakunin, and I know Bakunin is a Russian philosopher, proto-communist, but he kept naming people that were totally unrelated. I'm like, well, so you think it's Lost?
The only one I know for sure is Locke, being a character on Lost. I should know more about TV considering my job, but I really don't watch a lot of TV. So I know for sure Locke is a character on Lost. That's 100%. Other than that, that's just the one that jumped out for me. I probably couldn't name 4 other characters on Lost.
It's good enough for me.
Works for me. It's probably closest I'm going to get.
All right, Ben, we're feeling lost.
Okay. Carmela and Andrew.
I think Locke locked it in for us.
Yeah, pretty much.
We said Lost.
With the way that show is very philosophical in nature, it seems most likely.
Indeed. Well, all of you are lost. That is correct.
All right. At the end of the first round, the score is 20-20.
Your second round begins with a question from Matthew Burris.
Thank you, Matthew. Matthew sent in a lot of questions recently.
He does, and I like a lot of them.
Yeah, he's good. Thank you, Matthew.
Category is literature.
Literature.
What editorial and satire daily comic strip, which started in 1970, originally followed a group of friends at a Connecticut college?
This is your part of the world, Jody.
Yeah, I know.
All right, we're locked in. So
you're suggesting possibly Doonesbury?
Yeah, and I know that Doonesbury has another name. I feel like I've heard that there was either an alternative name or some maybe papers ran it under a different title. So maybe the other Opus and Bill matches up with that.
The only piece of that I'm struggling with, because it could totally be that, but did the penguin and the cat go to college?
Oh, no. If Opus and Bill is a penguin and a cat, then that's not.
Because they're a penguin and a cat.
Okay, I don't think that's it. Okay. I think I just remember there being Doonesbury is called Doonesbury, but there's a different name for it, maybe in some places.
Okay.
But if you think comic, political, cartoons, 70s, that was the first thing that pops into mind. And for some reason, something about a college and Doonesbury is maybe something to do with journalism. Something
it could still be that. You can have anthropomorphized characters go to school. If they can talk, they could be educated.
Absolutely. And I know nothing about Opus and Bill. So if you've read it and they
No, I haven't. I hate I hate things.
Famously, he hated it.
Yes, no, that's a thing for me. No, but I know this because I missed Bill the Cat on a freaking Learned League question earlier this season, and I was pissed off about it. So I remember Bill is definitely a cat, and that made me remember that Opus was a penguin. That being said, I don't have anything here. 70s. When I was growing up in the 80s, the comics were things like Beetle Bailey, Hagar the Horrible, BC, Far Side, Family Circus. And the stuff I wasn't reading was stuff like Doonesbury and Dick Tracy and Mary Worth and these other serialized things, right? So if you told me Doonesbury is something that you associate with college, I'm going to say let's do that.
That's the best answer I have. It's the only comic I can think of that isn't like, Garfield or, like you said, all those kind of kiddie ones.
Well, we're going to go with our well-educated penguin friend and say Doonesbury.
Okay.
We also locked in with Doonesbury. That was my first instinct. But listening to you talk, I won't be surprised if we're both wrong and it's Bloom County. But we locked in with Doonesbury.
I don't remember any penguins in this comic strip, but the correct answer is Doonesbury.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, who is Opus and Bill then? What is that from?
Opus and Bill were from Bloom County.
Okay, so I'm getting these things by the same creator mixed up.
No, they're different creators.
Are they different? What is happening in my brain then?
Because we're both still a little upset that we missed Bill on that learnedly question, because I missed it too.
Okay, so Bloom County is a comic strip. Yeah, those are the characters, and it was created by
Berkeley Breathed.
Berkeley Breathed. Okay, now we're going to look at Doonesbury.
Doonesbury was Gary Trudeau.
Oh my God, they're completely unrelated.
They are completely unrelated.
Okay, well, hey, good job, Jody.
Yeah.
I almost let us totally out, so you kept us in the right place. Thank you.
I redeemed myself for that Adele
right?
monstrosity in the last one.
Everybody listening is like, Jonathan, you are so freaking wrong.
Your second question also comes from Matthew Burris.
Thank you.
Category is history. In 17 and now I want to read the whole question to that voice. In 1776.
You give him about $350.
About $350. Howdy ho. In 1777, George Washington convinced the president of the Continental Congress to inoculate the American army with what vaccine? And for 2 bonus points, who was president of the Continental Congress at the time? Bonus Brigade, we're going to try to redeem you here.
Bonus Brigade, you might be screwing us on this one. Okay, yeah, that didn't help. Not at all.
That's the same time frame, right?
The American Revolution, famous for its West Nile virus. We're locked in.
Okay, Jody, so we were just starting in a conversation about the difference, if there's a difference between inoculate and an actual vaccine. Do you know anything around that? I feel like inoculate might not imply a full vaccine for something.
Yeah, in my mind, they've always been interchangeable, but now that you say that it could be totally right. Like maybe an inoculation is more like reduce your risk of getting it versus vaccine, which is like you're not going to have it.
Right.
But all 34 years of my life up until now, I never questioned that and just always thought they were the same.
I never took the time to question it either, to be honest with you.
I'm just trying to think of like any diseases they had back then that.
So do you remember there's the book Love in the Time of Cholera? Cholera, yeah. I feel like was that time period and earlier, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Whooping cough would have been a thing.
Oh, that's true too.
So like measles, mumps, pertussis, rubella, all the things that we have in our boosters now are the things that they were life and death back then.
Right. So pertussis is whooping cough, but the vaccine for whooping cough is fairly recent, I believe, because I think I remember like that coming out and being like, even if everyone needs to get it if you're going to be around a baby, but I don't think it would. I mean, maybe they had an inoculation back then, but not a vaccine if they are two different things.
I don't want to go, if it's something recent, then I don't want to go for that.
I'm trying to think of like Oregon Trail, like how many diseases I died of, like dysentery, cholera. You can't
inoculate against dysentery.
Dysentery.
Broke my leg in a hole and died of sepsis.
Snake
I don't know.
I mean, they were 77 was like Valley Forge-ish.
Yeah.
78 was Valley Forge-ish, actually, now that I think about it.
And I'm going to get kicked out of New England for not knowing Revolutionary War history, but I'm totally fine going with cholera because that is, if it's the time frame, and that's probably the closest I can think of. Like I think smallpox was too late. I think cholera is probably our best bet.
Okay, well, we'll go cholera, and then the president of the Continental Congress is probably going to be somebody from Massachusetts.
Yep, probably. That's why I said I've seen Hamilton, so I can name a bunch of people that existed around that time. But
I'm wondering if it might be Sam Adams.
It could be. And I was just going to say, if you say the name, it would probably pop something in my brain. Sam Adams could be right. He definitely did a whole lot besides make beer, and he is very famous for that around here. So it could be right.
It's not John Adams. It's not Washington. It's not Franklin. It's not Hamilton. It's Adams was one of the Sons of Liberty. He was one of the leaders of the revolutionary mindset. So that's kind of where my brain went.
Yeah, I'm totally fine going with Sam Adams too, because it fits the time frame. It fits his activity.
Okay.
Like you said, he was very passionate. So I agree with that. We can do Sam Adams for the bonus.
All right. We will say cholera and Sam Adams.
Okay.
Well, we said something completely different.
No, you're probably right. We are.
We're just probably right.
Yeah, we're not confident in either of our answers.
So we went with smallpox. It was the only thing that we could think of that had a vaccine around that time. And I was trying to remember because there were a couple of Continental Congresses, and I feel like John Hancock was the leader of one of them. I just couldn't remember what year, but that's what we went with. So we went with smallpox and old John Hancock.
All right. George Washington convinced to have the American army inoculated with a smallpox vaccine.
Damn it.
Wrong century.
The president of the Continental Congress had excellent handwriting. He was John Hancock.
Wow.
Nice job, Carmela.
There's your bonus brigade right there. Nice job. Yeah, we talked about smallpox. I thought once again, vaccine versus inoculation. I thought the vaccine was 1800s.
I agreed. I thought it was way later.
I know that I think it didn't actually fully get. I was thinking it was like 1798. I thought it was a little bit later, but there was the only vaccine anywhere near that time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The method that they used back then, and they may have perfected it later, but basically what they would do is they would inject the patient with a small amount of the active vaccine, hoping that it would be small enough that the immune system could catch up to it.
Yep.
So I don't think it was weakened in any way. It was just, we're going to give you a small amount of the real thing and hope that your body can respond. And part of the controversy and why there was pushback is because of the risk of the person actually dying by you giving them the inoculation.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it took some convincing to do, but.
So it wasn't a vaccine. It was an active inoculation with an injection of the virus. Like a vaccine isn't going to kill you.
Yeah. What you're saying is probably more, that's probably a better way of putting that.
Okay. Yeah. That's where we got kind of turned around, because the vaccine I feel like was 1800s, but that's not, the question wasn't about a vaccine.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so here's, for educational purposes, the definition of inoculation is to give a person or animal a vaccine, a substance to prevent a disease. All right. Well, now I need to know. Smallpox vaccine.
Maybe they had a looser definition of vaccine in the 1770s.
The basis for vaccination began in 1796 when an English doctor named Edward Jenner.
Yep.
Your alternate definition of inoculation is to give somebody a substance to prevent the disease. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hairy. Okay, your last question in the round is in sports geography. The Nashville Predators play at Bridgestone Arena in downtown Nashville. Geographically, the closest NHL stadium is Enterprise Arena in what city?
All right, we're going to lock in.
Well,
I think Nashville is on the Mississippi River, right? There, it's that end of Tennessee.
I think so. I've never been to Nashville. I've only been to Memphis, and I don't think Memphis is on the Mississippi. So Nashville being on it makes sense to me. And if that's the case, then St. Louis should be right there.
Yeah.
And they definitely have a hockey stadium. I don't know what it's called, but I know they definitely have one.
Wherever the Blues play.
Yeah. So you good with St. Louis?
St. Louis works for me.
All right. Then we're going to say St. Louis.
Okay.
Here's hoping ours is closer. We went with the Columbus Blue Jackets. So we said Columbus, Ohio.
That was my second guess.
Yeah, Columbus, not Cleveland.
All right. So Nashville actually is in the center of Tennessee.
It is the center of Tennessee.
Memphis sits on the Mississippi.
Memphis, yeah. I got it switched.
Whether you're measuring by the crow flies or by driving routes, the nearest arena is Enterprise Arena in St. Louis, Missouri.
Darn it.
Wow.
So
and
we
the
got
geography completely wrong, but still got the right answer.
We got the right answer. Well, Columbus is on the other side of Kentucky from Tennessee.
Yeah, but it's not the fat part of Kentucky. I guess it is. I guess it is.
I don't know.
It's not the drumstick part of Kentucky.
How far apart are? What's the difference between the distance in St. Louis versus Columbus?
St. Louis is like a little over 300 miles, and Columbus I think is like 400 and something. Let me check.
Okay, the score after the second round is 52-30. Carmela and Andrew are playing really well right now. So apparently inoculations against things have been happening for 1,000 years, and inoculations became the basis for the idea of vaccines. So that's how that could have happened, just for anybody who wasn't happy with how that was settled. There's an article on the history website about how crude smallpox inoculations helped George Washington win the war.
Yeah, there's articles that say that his best tactical decision he made as a military general was those inoculations because of how many lives they saved.
Wow.
So your third round begins with a question from Cush Linfield.
Thank you.
Category is movies. What actor earned at least one Oscar nomination in 5 consecutive decades, beginning in the 1960s? And I do have a hint if you want a hint.
I might need one. Quick question. Do you mean actor as in like the gendered male actor?
Gendered male actor.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take the hint if y'all will.
Yeah.
This actor was nominated a total of 9 times with 3 wins.
9 times.
Okay, we're locked in.
Okay, so Jody, your first thought's a really good one.
I said Clint Eastwood, and he does direct.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he's
got
either
nominated for Gran Torino.
Yeah, but what just popped into my head that I didn't even think of was Jack Nicholson. I know he was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He's been doing kind of like prestige work pretty much the whole time, where, like you said, Clint Eastwood kind of started as more like a Western, Dirty Harry.
As good as it gets would have been the 90s.
And I know As Good as It Gets, he was nominated for that. But was that the 90s or was that the 2000s?
That was 90s.
Did that bleed?
That was Helen Hunt, wasn't it? It might have been early 2000s.
That's it. Like if it was 2000, 2001, that was still 20 years ago. That's still a good amount of time. So that just popped into my head just because of the later nominations. So I'm kind of stuck between, but then I'm also thinking like all those kind of old classics like Robert Redford and De Niro, Al Pacino, like Jonathan, you're the expert on pop culture. So
no, Carmela's laughing because she knows that's my weakest category.
I think she meant it sarcastically, Jonathan.
Oh, I'm also not good at sarcasm anymore. I'm just bad at everything nowadays, honestly.
I kind of like the original of Clint Eastwood just because he's very prolific. He's been around a very long time, and he's still doing stuff now. Yeah. Jack Nicholson really hasn't done too much very recently, within the last 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, the aughts for Jack Nicholson were things like About Schmidt. He did do a movie in the 2000s where he was like a pen pal for an orphan kid or a kid in maybe an African kid or a kid who was like a foster child maybe. I feel like we had a question where that was referenced recently, and that could have been an Oscar nomination in the 00s.
Jack Nicholson? That doesn't sound familiar at all.
It's not. I had never heard of it, but it came up in a question that somebody else asked in the last month for me.
I'm kind of typecasting him because I always see him as kind of like a mean jerk because that's usually the kind of the role he plays.
He might have been a mean jerk.
True. He could be a mean jerk, being a mean jerk to a kid, and then the kid,
melts his heart kind of thing.
Melts his heart, makes him a nice guy. Yeah. I'm fine going with Jack Nicholson if you want. I think that's a good, solid.
I think it's a good answer.
Guess, even if it's not right. Yeah.
Let's give it a go.
All right.
We'll say Jack Nicholson.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So my first thought was Jack Nicholson. Well, we also thought about Dustin Hoffman and Peter O'Toole, but when the hint came out that he's won at least 3 times, that cemented Nicholson for me because I know he's won at least twice.
He won for As Good as It Gets, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and I believe Terms of Endearment for supporting actor.
So, we said Nicholson.
All right. What did they get a load of me? It is Jack Nicholson.
Oh, Jody, great job.
My brain just likes to randomly spit out facts.
His last nomination was, I think, in 2006 or whatever for The Departed.
Oh, Departed. He's in that movie. I watched that like 3 days ago. Jesus.
Did I make up the thing about the kid?
I don't know.
It doesn't ring a bell for me.
The worst movie I can think of that Jack Nicholson is in is Anger Management with Adam Sandler.
or the Bucket List with Morgan Freeman.
He was nominated for a Golden Globe for The Departed, but not an Academy Award.
Oh, he wasn't nominated for an Academy Award?
No. And according to my list on Wikipedia, he actually was nominated 12 times total with 3 wins, all acting.
What was the other one he won for?
He won for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Terms of Endearment, and As Good as It Gets.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Cuckoo's Nest is one of the ones that's won the top 5, like Best Director, Best Actor, Screenplay. That's why that one always sticks in my head.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was his first nomination for Easy Rider?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Okay. That would be the 60s one.
60s. Yep. Your second question comes to us from Kylie Diggs.
Thank you.
Category is Geography.
Geography.
Yeah. New York City neighborhoods are known for their abbreviations. For example, the Brooklyn neighborhood down under the Manhattan Bridge overpass shares its nickname with what Disney animated character?
I don't know.
We're locked in.
Is it Dumbo? Is it Peter Pan? Is it Cinderella?
What? It's hard because what would be also a name of a neighborhood that's a name of a character? But
you know what?
Disney character could be anything.
Honest to God, we might just need to brainstorm characters and see if any of them sound like a thing. I thought we were going somewhere like Battery Park or somewhere like Hell's Kitchen or Harlem or something like that.
Same, Tribeca.
Yeah, so if it's not one of those, then Rapunzel, Jasmine, Aladdin, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Could it be Quasimodo? Does somebody live in Quasimodo?
Quasimodo.
Esmeralda. Sebastian, the crab.
Let's just say.
You want to say Hercules?
Yeah, let's do that. I like Hercules.
All right, we're going to say they live in Hercules. Hercules.
Just so someone would do that.
Down under Manhattan Bridge overpass. Dumbo.
Oh, shut the front door.
My first doofy guess.
I thought that you had gotten it, and I was like, oh, okay, so he figured it out, and no, and then you kept rolling. I'm like, oh, straight face, don't do nothing.
I'm so mad at myself for not.
The look on Jonathan's face it makes me a little sad, because you're just like, I'm so mad.
It's not mad, it's just... It's hard enough when you don't know the answers, but then when they're like sitting there for you and you're not aware enough to pick them up, that's when it's like really upsetting, because like, hey,
it's
no,
a beautiful question.
It's like try and grab this out of my hand, and it's your parents, so you're not fast enough. That's the way it feels.
Correct answer is Dumbo.
And for the record, Merida is an official Disney princess.
I thought so.
Oh, that's it. I never know if Disney is Pixar or Pixar is Disney or anything anymore.
Well, Disney owns everything. So.
Black Widow is also a Disney princess.
True. So is Leia.
Your last category in the round is in math. I remember the grandpas in my family saying things like, run down to the liquor store and bring me a fifth of Crown. Fifth is an approximation of a fifth of what unit of volume?
We're locked in.
So, Jody, I was saying that I have a lot of liquor bottles downstairs, and most of them have concave bottoms. So even though they appear pretty big, they're not quite as big as you think they are. They don't have as much.
Agree.
A fifth of liquor is less than a half gallon for sure. And I'm imagining if I took a fifth of whiskey and poured it into a gallon jug, that I might be able to put 5 of them in there.
That's what I'm thinking too. I don't drink anymore. It's been a very long time. So I'm trying to remember like going to the store and buying a fifth, but I can picture like the bottle in my head, but I think a gallon might be right. Cause if I picture like a gallon of milk and then like 5 of those, seems like it could fit.
And it's not going to be a metric thing, I don't think. So yeah. I don't know the next thing up from a gallon.
I don't either. I think you just start saying like multiple gallons at that. I've only ever, I may have heard someone say it's the aquarium has a 100,000 gallon tank, but they don't have another word for that.
I mean, so you have the wine bottles. You have like the Jeroboam and the Methuselah and those things.
Oh God, the
Nebuchadnezzar.
The Nebuchadnezzar, yeah, but I don't think it's going to be those. So let's say gallon.
Yeah, I like gallon.
All right, we're going to say it's a fifth of a gallon.
Okay.
Well, my initial thought was quart, but Andrew brought up something that alcohol comes in volumes measured in milliliters, so we settled on liter.
All right. So a fifth is 750 milliliters, which is approximation of a fifth of a gallon.
All right.
Nice. I did say liter first, and Jonathan quickly corrected me.
see, 750 milliliters is usually the amount that I see on a bottle, but I don't know. I don't ever refer to it as a fifth, so I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely an old school reference. Nobody that I know under 40 that calls them fifths.
I still call them fifths.
I've never called it a fifth.
I've always called it a fifth.
You're
over 40.
I'm 45 in 6 days. I do not call it a fifth.
Score check.
At the end of the third round, 72 to 50. Luckily, our knowledge of bottles of alcohol saved us from getting routed in that round.
All right. Your midpoint is in female Nobel laureates. In 2020, 4 women won a Nobel Prize, 2 for chemistry, 1 for physics, and 1 for literature. For 5 points each, name them. I don't know if that's the jar of nothing or an old turn signal.
At the jar of nothing, buddy.
What were the categories they won in?
2 for chemistry, 1 for physics, and 1 for literature.
Jody, do you just want to go with that?
That works for me, yeah.
All right, we're going to lock in.
Okay.
Well, like I just told Andrew, I only remember one of them because I've been collecting lit winners for questions. So I only know one of these. And her name is, I think it's Louise Gluck or Gluck. It's Gluck, somewhere in there. But the other ones, I have no idea. I got nothing for you, Andrew.
I have nothing. There's a name that's in the back of my mind for physics, but I don't think it was this year anyway. So I have nothing.
Yeah. So we just need to make up some last names then. We'll do it. We'll do a Johnson. We'll do a Lee, and we'll do a Smythe.
Works for me.
Fancy Smith.
Fancy Smith, indeed.
And we sadly did not know. I didn't know any of them, honestly. Current events. Huge weakness for me. Science, huge weakness for me. Jody, I'm not sure if you feel the same, but it felt like maybe. So we said Johnson, Smith, Jones, and Obama, just in case.
Okay. Your 2020 female Nobel laureates were Andrea Ghez, Ghez, Emmanuelle Charpentier, Jennifer Doudna, and Louise Gluck.
Woo!
Good job getting that one.
I've heard the name Carpentier. I listen to science podcasts. I should remember these things. They talk about the Nobel Prizes every year, and they just don't stick.
It's hard. Yeah. If it's not something you're involved in or studying intentionally, it's challenging for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, at the end of the midpoint, 77 to 50, Carmela and Andrew have a lead.
Your fourth round comes to us from Rob Warman.
Oh, Rob Warman.
First category is sports. Well, actually, first category is sports.
Now, Rob, you know damn well.
This had better not be a 2-answer line question, Rob. See you in 400.
In 2013, on the Allegheny River, Kurt Mountain Man Steiner set a score of 88, the Guinness World Record in what sport?
God dang.
This sport has been featured on ESPN The Ocho, as well as a 2020 episode of Trivial Warfare.
Be anything.
Could be anything. Jody, I think I want to go with that. All right, we're going to lock in.
Okay.
No.
we don't know. We're just guessing.
So far, we have horseshoes and underwater basket weaving.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like horseshoes. I feel like that's got like a point system.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's close enough for horseshoes and hand grenades. So
maybe the answer is hand grenades.
I think horseshoes is the best thing we're going to come up with.
All right. Horseshoes.
So, Jody, you came up with an answer pretty quickly that I liked more and more as I kind of just sat with it.
I actually wrote it down before Ben was done with the question. So he mentioned it was also on another episode. And the problem is I listen to a lot of trivia episodes or podcasts. So I kind of blend them all together. But I wrote down rock skipping because I remember thinking that's insane if 88 skips. And also it's a river, which seems like it would be more difficult.
Yeah.
And the Ocho, which is not really sports. It's sports.
Right. It's sports. So that, like, all together, the first thing that popped into my head was rock skipping. And then when he said it was on another episode, I could remember hearing a question about it. So that just seemed right. It makes sense to me. It's way more than I could skip. So that's a sport to me, as if I can't do it, it's probably a sport.
I'm just real good at throwing them directly into the river.
I'm a good plunker. I can make a plunk like nobody's business.
Yeah.
So we said skipping stones.
Yeah, he set a world record of 88 stone skips. Great job.
Jody,
Wow.
woo! That was great.
How do you even count that?
Skips.
Oh, you record it and watch
video.
it in slow-mo.
Yeah, video. I guess they had a drone or some type of overhead video.
You can take anything that a human can do and do it better than everyone else and call it a sport, basically.
Yeah.
I've got jokes.
Not wrong. Your second Rob Warman question is an art. Name the British sculptor who is famous for his semi-abstract reclining figures, including a 2-ton bronze work that was stolen in 2005.
We're going to lock in.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah. The only sculptors I can think of are not British, or if they are not what anyone would consider abstract.
Or recent.
Yeah.
How the hell do you steal a 2-ton bronze sculpture? Holy crap. You had to use a crane.
A tow truck? Like, how do you even do that?
I mean, it's not a fast getaway.
Slow speed chase.
Mush. I don't know. Do you remember the guy? I was asking the one who did the bird sculptures, and they all stood up straight, and they weren't really birds. They were just like weird looking things that stand up straight.
No, but who's the guy? This just came into my brain. Who's the guy that did the bean? That doesn't like when you call it the bean, that also did the whole thing with the Vanta Black and the pink, and there was like a whole controversy over owning color.
I don't know his name.
It's an Indian name, but he could be British.
Yeah.
Akash. I can picture like the disclaimer on the package that says like, you can't be a friend of his if you want to buy this paint because he's a jerk. Oh my gosh. He did the big silver bean that's in Chicago, and it
I know
has
what you're talking about.
Some fancy name, and he hates when you call it the bean.
It's the Millennium Gate or something like that. It's Cloud Gate. Cloud Gate, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, and he doesn't like when people call it the bean. And then the person that made the color that also doesn't like him did a bean-related thing.
I don't know. Shall we guess Singh?
Sure. That's a very common Indian name. That will work.
All right, we will guess Singh.
Okay.
So the guy that you're thinking of is Anish Kapoor.
Kapoor, yes, that's it.
He is British. He did do Cloudgate or the Bean. The guy who he fights with over the paint, his name's Stuart Semple.
Semple, that's it.
Yeah, and so he does like the Vanta Black and then the super ridiculous pink. And it's Kapoor's known for being a bit of a
Yes.
I didn't want to say
I think
it,
he's more famous for that now than for
Once again, we couldn't get through a show without somebody bringing up penises. We talked about it earlier. I knew it was going to happen. Sorry, Jody.
Well, it's not my fault, but that's how it is. He was the only British sculptor I can think of. He's pretty famous, which makes him good fodder for trivia. So we said Kapoor.
I hope that answer's kaput.
Rude.
The British sculptor that makes semi-reclining figures is Henry Moore is his name. Henry Moore.
I'll take it.
Yeah, if it wasn't Kapoor, I don't have any real way of getting to that answer.
No, that doesn't sound familiar at all.
Never heard of him. I'm sure he's wonderful.
Very talented, I'm sure.
Yeah, may he rest in peace.
May he recline in peace.
Rob Warman's questions are always so tough.
Yeah. I cringe a little every time they say this is a question from Rob.
Oh,
Rob.
Rob.
Well, I might as well just go.
Rob.
No, because it's hard, and I'm
reputation you got there.
Such good questions.
I'm always stumped by his questions.
Let's see if you get stumped by this one. This is a fashion question.
I got a chance.
There you go. What essential wardrobe component is credited to a Coco Chanel photo published in Vogue in 1926?
We're locked in.
All right. So, Jody, the little black dress was Chanel, right?
That's the part that is holding me up. That was my first instinct, was the little black dress, because Chanel is known for very simple, dark colors, black, elegant. But there's another part of my brain that thinks someone else did the little black dress.
I think Chanel did it.
I wonder if I'm overthinking it. Like, it feels like it's too obvious to be Chanel. The 20s is about the right time. I think it might be overthinking. I think it could be Chanel.
Did you have another name?
That's the other thing. I can't think of any other fashion name at that time that would have that kind of aesthetic of Chanel, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like 80% on Chanel being little black dress.
Yeah, I like that answer.
Okay, we'll say little black dress.
So the two biggest fashion people within that time frame are Coco Chanel and Elsa Schiaparelli. Schiaparelli was really bright colors, and Chanel was dark blacks and neutrals. So we said little black dress.
Yep, you're looking for the LBD, little black dress.
All right.
Voice.
We said that answer to each other at exactly the same time.
Indeed.
The game's getting closer. It's 87-70. Carmela and Andrew still have a lead.
Round 5 begins with a question from Jay Hyatt.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay.
Category is History.
History.
The bomber that delivered the historic payload over Hiroshima was named Enola Gay. What was the name of the bomber used in Nagasaki?
Oh, come on.
And for 2 bonus points, what was the nickname of the bomb dropped over Nagasaki?
Oh, well, I can get that one.
That I know.
We've reached the point where people are like, no, we're not going to ask you the trivia question that trivia players should be expected to know. We're always going to ask for the next thing down.
Yep.
A part of me's over it. Not even lying. I'm just like, all right, every time.
Oh, I could tell you the date. Like the exact dates.
Now we're talking. Let's think of this here. I mean, I'm good with that if you are.
Sure.
All right, we'll lock in.
We know everything about this except for the name of the plane.
Yep.
Really? Who was the pilot?
No, I don't know that either.
All right, then. I have proved the lie.
You sure that Fat Man was the one for Nagasaki?
Fat Man was Nagasaki.
All right. I always put them in, because I always say Fat Man and Little Boy.
Because you always hear Fat Man and Little Boy, so you assume Fat Man is the one they dropped on Hiroshima.
Right.
But I know that it was Fat Man on Nagasaki.
Yeah. Hiroshima was August 6th, Nagasaki was August 9th. I only remember that because my partner's birthday is August 9th. Yeah. So
but
I'm cool with saying gay Enola.
Yeah. I got nothing. So
that is a great drag name. It really is.
Please look at the stage, gay Enola.
Mm-hmm. We'll go with that.
And so gay Enola and Fat Man.
All right, and we guessed Little Boy and Propeller McAltitude.
Propeller McAltitude.
It was so far from being a potentially any kind of answer. It's rough. Yeah.
All right, so the nickname of the bomb that was dropped over Nagasaki is Fat Man. And the name of the bomber was Boxcar.
Oh.
Boxcar.
I've never heard it in my entire life.
I think I've heard it recently, but again, information is not sticking the way it used to.
All right. 10 points for Ravenclaw there. Your second question this round comes to us from Brianna Garten.
Oh, thank you, Brianna.
Points for that.
Yeah, you
did get the bonus points for that.
You did.
Oh, that's right. Bonus Brigade got your back over there.
All right, Brianna's question category is in literature.
Literature.
The following quote is from an American novel published in 1952. The quote is missing two words, which are also the novel's title. Right? Everybody understand?
Yeah.
Okay, here's your quote. I am an blank blank. No, I am not a spook like those who haunted Edgar Allan Poe, nor am I one of your Hollywood movie ectoplasms. I am a man of substance, of flesh and bone, fiber and liquids, and I might even be said to possess a mind.
We're locked in.
Okay.
Hey, Jody, do you think it could be Invisible Man?
That's what I was thinking. It's the only thing that really like logically made sense. Obviously, we're talking about something supernatural or, ghosts and spooks and stuff like that. But is that American?
Yeah, it's Ralph Ellison.
Is it? Okay.
It's. I think Invisible Man is actually a story of a black man who's telling the story of kind of being invisible in society.
Yeah, and Invisible Man works for me. My only hang up was it not being American, but if you're sure that it was, then that's fine by me. It fits the clue and it fits the quote too.
Yeah, let's go with it. We'll say Invisible Man.
For me, this is a tough book to read, but it's definitely Ralph Ellison and it's definitely Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man with the definite article is the British one.
Yeah, H.G. Wells.
Gotcha.
That's the sci-fi one.
I wasn't totally off there.
This is, him being invisible to mainstream society and all that stuff. So
got it.
Yeah, I actually did my big senior writing project on this book. It is Ralph Ellison and it is Invisible Man.
All right. Good job, everybody.
Nice job.
Your last question in the round comes to us from Nick Holsey.
Thank you, Nick.
Category is born on the 4th of July. Born in 1872 in Connecticut. Who is the only U.S. president to be born on Independence Day?
We're locked in.
Jody, I believe you have to be 40-ish. It might be 35 to be president, somewhere in there. So at a minimum, it's somebody who would have been inaugurated after 1912. Okay?
Yep. So
we're talking about, and it probably older than that. So I'm leaning in the Herbert Hoover territory. It's not going to be Wilson. It could be Harding, but I'm pretty sure Harding was not a young president. It could be Coolidge, who took over when Harding died. If it was Coolidge, then that would have been somewhere around 1920-ish. No, that's wrong. What are my dates here? Wilson got out in 1920, 22, so somewhere in like 22, 23-ish for Coolidge. Roosevelt was elected in 32. Hoover must have been elected in 28. Coolidge would have been in place before that. Harding wasn't 2 terms. Am I missing somebody or are my dates just wrong? I don't know. Something's off in my mind right now.
You're the presidential. Yeah, I'm not good at presidential stuff. I feel like if it was a person on the much younger side, like give me minimum 35 or whatever, I mean, that's like kind of a big deal, like JFK, Obama being a lot younger.
Yeah, it's not that.
So it's got to be
22 would be 50 years old for that person, 1922. So this is going to be somewhere in the Harding, Coolidge, Hoover category. I just want to go Hoover. My dates are obviously wrong and my brain is obviously malfunctioning, but I still want to go Hoover.
I 100% defer to you. That's more than I would have come up with. So
okay, we'll say Hoover.
So close. It's Coolidge. It's definitely Coolidge.
Yeah, Warren G. Harding looks like he was president for like a half a term. Mm-hmm. And then after him for a term and a half was Calvin Coolidge.
What years was Coolidge, just to help me level set
23 to 29.
23 to 29. Yep.
So he got elected after that's where I was getting screwed up.
Yeah, you didn't count him being elected after he took over.
I didn't realize somehow that he had gotten reelected. Okay. After the end of the 5th round, that wasn't a good round for us, Jody. We have 80. Carmela and Andrew have 109.
Your 6th round begins with a question in science.
Science.
Safety organization UL has been putting their stamp of approval on personal electronics since their founding in 1894. What does UL stand for? Pencil pushers in white coats makes more sense than I thought.
That's the same thing I was typing.
We're locked in.
So we both agree it's something laboratories. We are talking about unified, united, and utility so far. I've definitely seen it spelled out before.
I can picture the logo in my head. I just can't read the words that are there with it.
Yerp.
I like united or unified better than utility, just because utility laboratories doesn't sounds janky. I don't know if it's united or unified, though.
The pencil pushers part, I just wonder if there's a different... If laboratories is white coats, then I'm wondering if there's a pencil pusher U word.
That's what I was trying to think,
accountants,
too. Pencil push
or whatever.
That's usually what I think. Pencil pushers, like, accounting or, QA, like keeping the books, stuff like that.
United is a more fitting word for a company name, though.
United was both of our first.
Let's just do that. Let's just do that. Okay.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
All right, we're going to say United Laboratories.
So we talked about United Labs and Universal Labs or laboratories, and we locked in with Universal Laboratories, but I think Andrew picked up on the pencil part.
Well,
when it was too late.
Were debating, and I think the U is underwriters.
Oh.
So, but we said Universal Laboratories.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this company was hired by insurance companies to make sure that before they gave fire insurance, that there weren't any fire hazards. So this is Underwriters Laboratories.
I have not seen that spelled out ever in my whole life.
Yeah, I knew as
insurance
soon as
and
you guys
underwriters
started talking about insurance or anything like that, I was like, oh man, if I had thought about it a few seconds longer.
Your second question around comes to us from Rob Warman.
Thank you, Rob.
Category is movies.
Movies.
What 2014 film is by far the most financially successful film that Clint Eastwood has ever directed? So this is worldwide box office earnings is what we're judging by here.
We're locked in.
I don't know. The latest things I can think of by Clint Eastwood are Gran Turismo, $1 Million Baby.
2014 $1 Million Baby. Did he direct that though?
Yeah, he did, but that's too early.
It's too early.
$1 Million Baby's too early.
Yeah.
Could it be an animated movie? Did he do a big animated movie?
I don't think so. I can't picture Clint Eastwood doing an animated anything.
So 2014, just to put a range in your head, is when Frozen came out.
Yeah. Yeah, those, 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that thing where I'm like, I lived here and I did that and this, trying to get like a time frame on what movies were happening. Gran Torino might be our best bet. I do remember that.
Turismo, don't I?
Yeah. Same thing. It was huge. I remember it being huge. It won a lot of awards. Everybody was talking about it. My parents watched it, which if my parents watched it, it means it was good. So that's the biggest big Clint Eastwood movie. Is that time frame 100%? I'm not sure.
All right, we'll go ahead and lock it in.
All right, we'll lock in with Gran Torino, not Turismo.
2014, he had a huge hit with a movie that I don't think any Clint Eastwood movie is particularly expensive to make because he just shoots the scene once, from what I've heard. But it was a major box office success, and it was nominated for Best Picture, starring Bradley Cooper, American Sniper.
Correct answer is American Sniper.
Nice job.
I forgot that movie and its fake baby existed.
See, that was what I was going to say about he cuts corners. That fake baby is infamous.
Yeah. I think Gran Torino was a couple years before that.
I think so.
But it's the same kind of time frame.
All right. Your penultimate question is the Showdown. All right. I'll read the rules to you. I'm going to ask a question that has multiple correct answers. Each team will be given 3 minutes to submit a list of answers. The team with the most correct answers gets 10 points. Any list with an incorrect answer will be disqualified. Now, Jonathan and Jody, since you are trailing, you have the choice between sitcoms and reality television.
Lord almighty.
Jody, which one are you better at? Because I'm terrible at both.
I was just going to ask you. The thing is, I'm fairly good at both those things. I do watch a lot of sitcoms, but if it's anything before like the 80s, I'm not going to get it because I didn't watch TV before I was born. Reality TV is very more modern, before really like real world that didn't exist. So we might be better off with reality TV just because it may be more current. Either of those could be a strong point.
Well, which one do you want?
Honestly, reality TV.
Okay, reality TV.
I have a list of the winners from the first 28 seasons of Dancing with the Stars. This list excludes the juniors edition of the show. All right, your time starts now. 1 minute left. Okay, time is up. Go ahead and send me your answers. Carmela, is that your list?
Yes.
It's the hope that they disqualify themselves.
We very well might.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So, Andrew and Carmela, your list was Ribeiro. End of list.
So I would have had any
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
And just
Let's see if it pays off.
that you guys put a wrong answer in and disqualified yourselves.
So Ribeiro is the correct answer. Jonathan and Jody, you put Jerry Rice, Emmett Smith, Yamaguchi, Chrissy Yamaguchi, Biles, and Matthews. And you have 3 incorrect answers.
Beautiful.
I knew Emmett Smith didn't win. Jerry Rice was the one I was thinking of that I think did.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so that was
Good round.
that Cotton, your strategy paid off.
So
was Apollo Ono one of them?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, he was.
That was the other one that I was thinking of that I wasn't 100% certain of.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were trying to think athletes because when athletes are on that show, they either do very well or they win.
I had with reality TV dance shows, I really like So You Think You Can Dance, and I really dislike Dancing with the Stars, so I never watched it.
The only season I ever followed at all was the one with Alfonso Ribeiro because everyone wanted to see if he would do the Tom Jones song, and he did.
He did.
There you go.
Yeah, that's why I knew that one.
All right, at the end of the 6th round, the score is 129-80.
Your gauntlet category is Time to Catch Some Z's.
Oh, I do that after we're done.
By the way, which were the wrong answers, Ben?
Jerry Rice, Simone Biles, and whoever Matthews is.
Rashard
Simone Biles
Matthews from the
Right.
Giants?
Rashad Jennings.
Jennings, that's the name I was looking for. Damn it.
So Simone Biles must have not won because I remember her being on and there was a controversy about she did well and she wasn't smiling and they basically told her to smile on national TV. And she was like, no, thanks, unless I'm thinking of the wrong person.
That sounds familiar.
All right, our wager's locked in.
Our wager is also locked in.
Here's your first question in Time to Catch Some Z's. Electronics company Zenith invented what technology in 1950, which was originally called lazy bones?
Do you want to lock that in, Jody?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, we're locked in.
All right, we are also locked in.
Here's your second question. What artist has sold more than 75 million albums worldwide, won 22 Grammys, and holds the record for the most solo albums to reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 200?
Damn. All right, we're going to lock in. We didn't get to use the whole hammer the whole game today. Hard game.
This is a very difficult game.
I'm glad I thought I was just dumb. I'm glad other people agree this is a hard game.
No, it's a hard game.
I could have used the hammer. I had Meow Meows on American Sniper. That was it.
Oh, you should have said it.
You should have said it.
I would have done it for you.
We are locked in.
Here's your final question. What eponymous anime character debuted on Japanese television in the 1970s and was later adapted for American television in 1985? Guillermo del Toro credited this character as the inspiration for his 2013 film Pacific Rim.
I was just about to say, please know this. Please know this. Okay. I think we're going to lock in.
Yeah, I think we are too. We're locked in.
Let's read them back. Electronics company Zenith invented what technology in 1950, which was originally called lazy bones? Jonathan and Jody, what did you say?
Jonathan suggested remote control, which makes sense. Lazy, you don't have to get up. Zenith is one of the original. They've been making TV since TVs were radios. So it fit the time frame, it fit the category. So we said remote control.
All right. Carmela and Andrew?
Andrew suggested a remote control, and it made sense to me. So remote control.
Yeah, it was pretty much the same reasoning.
All right. Second question. What artist has sold 75 million albums, won 22 Grammys, and has the most solo albums to reach #1?
Oh, I missed the solo part.
It was solo. We were
when
wrong
we heard
right
your
away.
answer, it gave us great relief that you weren't going to get that right.
Yep. So Carmela, Andrew, reveal your answer. What'd you say?
Oh, man, if I had done the solo part, I would have said Zappa. not Zeppelin.
Well, it wasn't. It's not Zappa either. It's not going to be Zappa, Zeppelin, ZZ Top. Wasn't Warren Zevon. We have no idea.
Yeah, I talked him into Zeppelin because Zeppelin 4 sold so many albums. So yeah, we said Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
So we went back and forth. We hit the Warren Zevon. We hit the Frank Zappa. We hit a lot of stuff. And then finally we thought, long career in a field where you can collaborate with a lot of people and produce and win Grammys that way. And we locked in with Jay-Z.
Oh, that makes way more sense.
That does make a lot of sense.
All right. And what anime character debuted in the 70s and was credited as the inspiration for the film Pacific Rim? Jonathan and Jody, what'd you say?
We argued a lot. Not really argued. We just didn't. Neither one of us had a strong position. Jody was talking about Zords from Power Rangers, but there was another thing you mentioned that didn't feel like a name, though.
Oh, the Zero.
Zero, yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of thought it's like going to be one of those 80s, like Voltron, Zoltron, like that kind of made up word that has a Z. I was thinking of like Zero Kazama is a name, or Zero, like the dog's name from Nightmare Before Christmas, but this was a struggle. Jonathan said Invader Zim, which is a cartoon. I've watched that one.
Well, I didn't say Invader Zim. You said Invader. I just said, well, I know there's a thing called Zim, and maybe that was around before and was remade.
Right, yep. So we did lock in with Zim, hoping that it was a remake or some kind of connection to that.
All right.
We had pretty much the same discussion. We didn't have really any good ideas as far as what it was, but I kept coming up with the idea that I had heard a Z name associated with Gundam. So that was what we went with, was Gundam.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right. So let's read them back. Electronics company Zenith invented the television remote control. The artist you're looking for that had all those Grammys and albums is Jay-Z.
Yeah,
nice. I'm glad to get that right.
Completely missed the solo part.
Yeah. That was all Jonathan. He got that.
Yeah. And the anime character, this was actually this character actually started a subgenre of mech anime. And this was a precursor to like your Voltrons and your Gundams. It's actually, the name is Transor Z.
Oh,
I've heard that name. I've heard that name, but
made up 80s nonsense.
I was like, they're not going to get this question either. So let's just go. Yeah. Gundam.
Maybe we start with Andrew and Carmela since you both missed it.
Okay.
We went for the lockout. We bet 32.
All right. Well, we missed it, so we couldn't catch up if you did that, and we missed it. So we bet it all, which means your final score is going to be 97. With a final score of 97-0, your winners are Andrew and Carmela.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great game.
Oh, man.
Carmela,
y'all played well.
Carmela, your back must be hurting for carrying me through this game.
People don't understand how significant. Carmela, I remember when you would play original games back in 2016, and obviously it's so long ago, right? So much improved. The other day, you know how we've used me as the kind of scale for how you rate people?
Yeah.
I changed the scale for setting up matchups the other day. I told Katie to mark me down as a 6 on the scale where I'm a 7 and make you a 7.
I would have rated myself way differently if I thought Jonathan considered himself a 6.
I'm just, compared to what I was 4 years ago, I'm not the same number anymore. So, yeah. Oh, great job, y'all. So before we go, we like to give everybody a chance to do shout outs or promote causes that you care about. Jody, we'll start with you.
So guys, stay in when you can. Wear your mask if you're out. Wash your hands. Just try to be safe. Even if you really think that masks do nothing, it hurts nothing to wear it. Please just try to be safe. Everyone, do the best they can. Everyone just try to do best for yourself. Self-care is important. Self-care is doing things every day, all day to keep you busy, do it. If it's sitting on the couch and doing nothing, reading a book, do it. At this point, everybody's just trying to get through. So, just take care of yourselves, guys. Stop thinking about somebody else and think about yourself for a little bit.
There you go. Nice. I'll receive that. Andrew, you're up.
I agree on the masks and follow the protocols. Just maintain the distance. Keep safe. That's what's important. There are those of us who have to go out to work, and I always appreciate that other people are wearing masks. But if you're not wearing a mask to protect other people, wear it to protect yourself. It's not that hard.
There you go.
Yep.
All right. So that's going to wrap us up. For Andrew, for Jody, Carmela, and Ben, my name is Jonathan. This has been episode number 304 of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TrivialWarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit ProPodcastingServices.com.
All right, Andrew, how do we sound?
I don't know. How do we sound?
Okay.
Is it better?
You sound different. Do you hear yourself?
I still do not hear myself.
Okay. I'm going to be honest. I think this is worse.
Well, that's no good.
All right. Well, this is episode number 304, and we are super. We are super.
Oh, we're Michael Bublé. It's just a fish moon. Did you do a score check already?
I did. We're getting our ass kicked.
I'm sorry.
It ain't your fault.